Welcome back, dear students. Now I am here again for metabolic changes during seed germination. So seed germination, it is the process of emergence of plumule and radicle. So which are the metabolic changes that has been takes place inside the seed during the process of germination, that I am going to talk for metabolic changes during seed germination. So these are the inner metabolic changes that has been takes place in the seed during germination. So as we know that in the previous lecture we studied that imbibition of water is the first event, or it is the beginning of the seed germination, and after imbibition of water various hydrolytic enzymes has been synthesized in the seed, which can broken down the reserve food material present in the cotyledon or endosperm into the simpler products. And by using these simpler products, the embryo develops into the plumule and radicle. So this is the whole process of seed germination, where there is a emergence of plumule and radicle takes place after seed germination. So metabolic changes during seed germination. The following are steps or sequences or events important during seed germination. The first is the water imbibition. Imbibition is the absorption of water by the colloidal material resulted into the swelling. So this is the one of the physiological phenomenon available for the absorption of water by the colloidal material. So water enters inside the seed. That phenomenon we called it as water imbibition. The metabolic activity of dry seeds begins with the imbibition of water and gradually increases as germination progresses. So the metabolic activity of the seeds that has been depends on the imbibition of the water. As the water has been imbibed in the seed, the metabolic activity of the seed increases as the germination progresses. The reserved food material in the seed is broken down, and part of the broken down products is transported from the cotyledon or endosperm to the growing embryo. If you see the structure of the seed possesses embryo and endosperm. Okay, the endosperm or the cotyledon that consists of reserved food material in the form of carbohydrates, starch, proteins, lipids, oils, fats. Okay, so this reserve food material that has been present in the cotyledon or endosperm has been broken down by the activity of the various hydrolytic enzymes. The reserve food material in the seed is broken down, and part of the broken down products is transported from the cotyledon or endosperm to the growing embryo. The major metabolic changes during seed germination takes place in carbohydrate metabolism, protein metabolism, and enzyme activities. So these metabolism we are going to study during the metabolic changes during seed germination. So what happened towards the carbohydrates, proteins, fats, which are the enzyme activities? During germination, starch is normally broken down by the enzyme alpha or beta amylase during the germination process of the seed. The mobilization and utilization of starch increases with the progress in the germination process of the seed. So during the process of germination, the starch is normally broken down by the activity of enzyme alpha or beta amylase. So this is the first event that has been occurred after the water imbibition. Okay. Now here we are going in detail for the changes in carbohydrate metabolism. Sucrose is often present in dry seeds in small amounts or is formed as a result of breakdown of raffinose. During germination of seeds, the degradation of starch results in the formation of glucose and eventually sucrose is synthesized. So here the sucrose that is required for germination has been present in dry seeds in small amount only, or it has been formed as a result of breakdown of raffinose also. The sucrose is also produced by the degradation of starch, results in the formation of glucose, and from glucose it eventually forms the sucrose. So these are the three ways by which the sucrose has been present in the seed. One way is sucrose is directly present in the dry seeds in small amount. Second thing, it has been formed as a result of breakdown of raffinose. Third thing, the starch has been degraded, results in the formation of glucose, and eventually sucrose is synthesized. So these are the ways by which the sucrose has been formed in the dry seeds. Sucrose is formed by a complex mechanism. First, the glucose is phosphorylated in the presence of ATP. The phosphorylation reaction means the one ATP has been utilized, so the ATP is converted into the ADP, where the inorganic phosphate has been attached to the glucose. So as a result of phosphorylation of glucose, glucose 6-phosphate has been formed. A part of glucose 6-phosphate formed is converted to the fructose 6-phosphate. So as a result of phosphorylation of glucose, the glucose 6-phosphate has been formed, out of which a part of glucose 6-phosphate form is converted to the fructose 6-phosphate, and part of glucose 6-phosphate is converted to the uridine diphosphoglucose in the presence of uridine triphosphate. So here, after phosphorylation of the glucose, glucose 6-phosphate has been formed. A part of glucose 6-phosphate formed is converted to the fructose 6-phosphate, while a part of glucose 6-phosphate in presence of uridine triphosphate is converted to the uridine diphosphoglucose. Sucrose is then formed by the condensation of uridine diphosphoglucose and fructose 6-phosphate. Finally, sucrose is synthesized and the breakdown products are transported to the developing embryo. So this comprises the carbohydrate metabolism. So what happened here? The starch that has been present in the endosperm or the cotyledon has been broken down by the hydrolytic enzyme like alpha or beta amylases. So as a result of breakdown of the starch, glucose has been produced. From glucose, the sucrose is synthesized by a complex mechanism. So what is the mechanism here? First, the glucose is phosphorylated in the presence of ATP. So due to which glucose 6-phosphate has been formed. The enzyme catalyzed reaction where the glucose is converted into the glucose 6-phosphate. The enzyme behind this is the hexokinase. So first reaction is the phosphorylation reaction where glucose is phosphorylated into the glucose 6-phosphate. As part of glucose 6-phosphate formed is converted to fructose 6-phosphate. Okay, while the part of glucose 1-phosphate in the presence of uridine triphosphate is converted to the uridine diphosphoglucose. Sucrose is formed by the condensation of uridine diphosphoglucose and fructose 6-phosphate that has been formed previously. Here fructose 6-phosphate is formed from glucose 6-phosphate. Similarly, uridine diphosphoglucose is formed from a part of glucose 1-phosphate. Okay. Sucrose is formed by the condensation of uridine diphosphoglucose and fructose 6-phosphate. And finally, sucrose is synthesized and the broken down products are transported to the developing embryo. Next is the changes in protein metabolism. The proteins which are metabolically inactive are regarded as storage proteins and are usually located in the protein bodies in endosperm or the cotyledon. Okay, so those proteins which are metabolically inactive are regarded as storage proteins and they has been located in the protein bodies. During germination, seed proteins are hydrolyzed in the endosperm or cotyledon into peptidases and amino acids which are translocated to the growing embryonal axis. So during germination, after imbibition of the seed, the various hydrolytic enzymes are synthesized in the seed. They act on the storage proteins present in the endosperm or cotyledon and convert it into the peptidases and amino acids. Okay, and once they has been synthesized, once the peptidases and amino acids are produced, they are translocated to the growing axis of the embryo. The maximum rate of hydrolysis of storage protein coincides with the maximum rate of growth of the seedling. As the growth of seedling is more, then there is maximum rate of hydrolysis of the storage protein, because for the growth of seedlings it requires simpler compounds to obtain the energy, and that has been provided by the hydrolysis of the storage proteins. So I said the maximum rate of hydrolysis of storage proteins coincides with the maximum rate of growth of the seedlings. The early protein degradation might be due to the combined activity of performed soluble peptidases present in the dry seeds, whose activity rapidly decline over the first few days after imbibition. Okay, so after imbibition the water has been enters inside the seed, or seed absorb water, which activates the various hydrolytic enzyme. These enzyme, for example, specifically proteases and peptidases, these enzyme act on the protein bodies located in the endosperm or cotyledon and broken down into the peptidases and amino acids. These peptidases, amino acids thus form are translocated to the growing axis of the embryo. So the maximum rate of growth of the seedlings that has been coincide with the maximum rate of hydrolysis of the storage proteins. Okay, so these are the changes in the protein metabolism. Next to this is the changes in fat and lipid metabolism. During seed germination, the reserve food material in the form of fats, lipids and oil is degraded slowly into different types of fatty acids, which are transported to the embryo. So here again the hydrolytic enzyme, for example lipases, that has been act on the fats, lipids and oil and degrades it slowly into different types of fatty acids, and after the formation of these fatty acids they are transported to the embryo. The lipids are converted to the fatty acids in the presence of enzyme lipase. So here lipids which are already present in the endosperm or the cotyledon as a reserve food material in the seed has been broken down by the enzyme lipase into the simpler products like the fatty acids. Similarly, the fats that are present in the endosperm or cotyledon are similarly broken down by the enzyme lipase into the fatty acids. So these fatty acids has been transported to the embryo for the emergence of the plumule and radicle during the seed germination. Okay, so this is the changes in fat and lipid metabolism. Next step is the increased respiration leads to the increased ATP synthesis. So ATP synthesis permits subsequent growth, which results in water uptake, uptake of oxygen and germination and nucleotide levels, that is ADP, ATP, total nucleotides also get increase. So the breakdown of the reserve food material like carbohydrates, proteins, fats, lipids into the simpler product is only for the synthesis of the ATP. So this is the process by which the ATP has been synthesized by the process of respiration utilizing carbohydrates, proteins, fats and lipids, and these ATPs are utilized for the process of germination. So ATP synthesis permits subsequent growth of the seedlings, which results in the water uptake, uptake of oxygen and germination, and nucleotide levels also get increase. So this is about the metabolic changes during seed germination. So in this way we finish the seed dormancy and germination. So in this chapter we studied right from start what is seed dormancy. It is the condition of a seed when it fails to germinate in spite of the availability of favorable internal and external condition, that we call it as the seed dormancy, or in brief seed dormancy is the temporary suspended germination stage of the seed. Next to this we studied the types of seed dormancy. So there are various types of seed dormancy. First one is the primary dormancy. Next to this is the secondary dormancy. Then the physiological dormancy. The physiological dormancy has three levels: deep, intermediate and non-deep. So the various levels of the physiological dormancy has been characterized by certain event. These three events we discuss during the study of various levels of physiological dormancy as deep, intermediate and non-deep. Next to this is the morphological dormancy, which is characterized by the underdeveloped but differentiated embryo. Next is the morphophysiological dormancy. It is the combination of morphological and physiological dormancy, where the seeds which are under MPD only not only have underdeveloped embryos but also a physiological component of dormancy within the embryos. And the various method that can be used to overcome the morphophysiological dormancy comprises warm or cold stratification. Okay, next, so this is the physical dormancy. So this physical dormancy is due to the presence of one or more water impermeable layers of palisade cells in the seed or fruit coat. Impermeable means those layers which do not allow the entry of water or any substances or the solvent through this. So this is called as impermeable layers. So this physical dormancy is due to the one or more water impermeable layers of the palisade cells in the seed or fruit coat. Next, so this is the combinational dormancy. It is the combination of physical dormancy and physiological dormancy, where the seeds having water impermeable layers combined with the physiological embryo dormancy. Next is the methods to break seed dormancy. One is the nicking, where the seeds has been cut at the distal end with a sharp tool like scalpel, a razor blade, or a large nail cutter or nail clipper. So next to this is the soaking in water. The seeds has been soaked in water for a particular period of time or the hours. Next to this is the hot water soaking. The seeds are soaked in water at 40 to 100 degrees Celsius depending on the species and the seed coat thickness for a specified period of time. Next, so this is the acid scarification. Here we are using the chemical, that is a 95% sulfuric acid, where the seeds has been soaked for a considerable period of time. Next is the soaking in hydrogen peroxide solution. So this is another one chemical where 5 to 30% hydrogen peroxide H2O2 has been used for 30 minutes. That was found to be effectively reduce the seed-borne microflora and stimulated germination. Physical scarification. The seeds has been physically or manually, they has been released from the dormancy, where the seed gun, 4-burge mechanical scarifier or cement mixer has been used. For a small quantity of seed we can use the glow burner or hot wire, while the large quantity of seed we can use the seed gun. Stratification. So here warm stratification has been applied, where the seeds has been placed in a moist medium such as sand, sawdust, vermiculite, peat moss or mixture of these two media in a loosely covered container at 20 to 25 degrees Celsius for various periods of time depending on the plant species. Next is the cold stratification, where the cold treatment has been given to the seed. So where the seeds are placed in a moist medium of similar sand, sawdust, peat moss, vermiculite or any other porous material in a covered container at 1 to 5 degrees Celsius temperature for various periods. It is in North America, it is also called as naked stratification. Next, so this is the role of plant growth regulators in breaking seed dormancy. So gibberellic acid was found to be a effective growth hormone for breaking the seed dormancy. It enhances the seed germination. It also releases the vegetative parts of the plants like corm, bulbs, rhizome, suckers from the dormancy. Next, so this is the role of phytohormones to improve seed germination. So the various phytohormones including gibberellic acid that we are studied in the role of phytohormone to improve seed germination, that comprises brassinosteroids, salicylic acid, cytokinase, ethylene, jasmonic acid. Then to the vigor index, so it is the sum total of the various parameters that has been noted during seed germination like percent seed germination, root shoot length, root shoot ratio, mobilization efficiency, germination index. So that can determine the level of activity and performance of the seed during germination and seedling emergence. So this is called as the vigor index. So it can be calculated by using the formulae germination percentage multiplied by the seedling dry weight, or it can be calculated also by using the formula germination percentage multiplied by the average seedling length or the shoot length. Seed germination is a vital process that brings about the emergence of plumule and radicle. So here during seed germination, imbibition of water is the first event, and the phytohormone mainly gibberellic acid plays an important role during the seed germination. So here there are two types of germination, hypogel, epigeal. When the cotyledon remains below the soil during germination, it is hypogel. The cotyledon come above the soil during germination, it is epigeal. Now the metabolic changes that I was told in this lecture. So this is about the chapter 6, seed dormancy and germination. Stay home, be safe. Thank you.